Welcome back to the Financial Freedom Edge. So, yes, it was a beautiful Saturday, and boom, just like that, door knocking becomes wet and cold. So that's Oregon weather for you guys. But yes, it is Saturday. Yes, we are back at the door knocking. Rain or shine, kind of like a mailman, right? We need to deliver the message, the good word, that if you do not pay your taxes or your mortgage company, you will lose your property and you should sell to someone like me. While I'm door knocking, and I've, made these videos before, and I'm going to keep making them. There's a house right there. I was driving around looking for foreclosures and people who aren't paying their taxes and, who are, defaulting on their mortgage, right? 90 days late or more. And you just come across properties that just look awful. And this one was especially bad. I should have taken a picture of it for you guys, but this one was really bad. So not only did they have multiple disabled vehicles in their driveway and pouring out onto the street, right, along the frontage of their house, they had trucks and trailers that were disabled, flat tires, looking crappy, with washers and dryers that probably don't work, and of course car parts everywhere. And then so I'm like, well, I gotta pull over because this house looks rough. I pull over, and then as I start to walk up to their driveway and these people aren't in foreclosure or anything, right? They're paying their taxes, they're paying the mortgage, maybe it's paid off, I don't know, right? I was just driving by and I saw a property that looks very distressed, and I go knock on their door and say, hey, you have a nice property here and you have lots of stuff. Would you consider selling? And the guy said, no, but have a good day, and shut the door in my face. And I really, really wanted to say, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to sell this place? And anyways, I was going to give him a card, and he shut the door in my face. But that's all right, because, you just never know. Even though they're paying their taxes, and even though they're paying their mortgage if they have one, there was a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of junk. There's no way that house sells on the market for any type of reasonable price unless they do a lot of work. I'm assuming the roof was covered in moss. There's stuff everywhere. If the outside looks like that, the inside's even worse. One of the other things too is I really should have taken a picture of this. I would have put it on my Facebook. But there was a half carton of eggs. Yes, eggs. Half carton of eggs. All smashed up just all over their driveways. It looked like they had like a food fight with eggs. There was multiple smashed eggs all over the driveway for some weird reason. So just weird stuff like that, right? Like, those are the times you should pull over. Like, if you're an aspiring wholesaler, or if you're a fix and flipper looking for deals and you don't want to pay wholesalers, then those are the doors that you should knock on, right? Other than foreclosure, tax delinquent. When you're already driving around anyways and you drive by a property like that, you should always have a card in your hand and go knock on the door and just ask, because you never know. And specifically those doors, because they are not on probate lists, they're not on tax delinquent lists, they're not on notice of default list, right? Maybe they're on a code violation list, but that's the thing, is they're not on the main radar, right? Like, specifically me and hundreds of people like me are door knocking these foreclosures and notice of defaults. But if you just have a really crappy looking property that has junk just everywhere, and car parts, and a toilet in the front yard, and washers and dryers just everywhere, they're not really on anybody's list except for the people who drive by them. And I can't tell you, there's hundreds of houses that I've driven by, and I was like, I need to stop. But, I was busy, or, it's on a main thoroughfare and there's no real good way to pull over. And I notice it just out of the corner of my eye as I'm speeding by, and I'm just like, I can't get that one. But every chance I get, like if I'm driving through a neighborhood, I will pull over and I will knock on that door, because there is very few people knocking on those doors. So they're not getting marketed to, they're not getting the cold calls, they're not getting the postcards, they're not getting the door knocks. And I know that if a realtor walked in there, they would be scared for their life because the place is just nasty. The only person who would buy it in its current condition is an investor. Now, does that mean that they're not gonna, pay a trash company $10,000 to get that place completely cleaned and then do remodeling work themselves and then sell it? Who knows, right? But typically, when somebody has $10,000 worth of junk in their front yard, probably not going to clean that up. So just wanted to make this little PSA, public service announcement, you guys. When you're door knocking, if that's a strategy that you employ, or if you have people that are door knocking on your behalf, tell them, hey, if you see a not crappy, if you see a property that looks like it, needs some work, has a bunch of junk in the front yard, has busted out windows, things that would make it really hard for them to sell, just ask them. I mean, you're already driving by anyways, so I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. Actually, what was kind of scary is these people had a no soliciting sign, which I kind of take as like maybe they meant it when they put it up, but maybe they don't mean it anymore. But the thing that really did scare me was they had a little placard right next to that said, owner is a concealed carry permit holder. And I was like, oh man, I sure hope this guy doesn't come to the door with a gun, because I definitely don't want to be shot. So, hey, and that's a realistic thing too. When you knock on somebody's door, you do not know whose door you're knocking on. So be friendly, be polite, and do not piss people off, because when you're coming to their door, you don't know what's behind on the other side of that door. So just be careful. All right, everybody, I'm gonna keep door knocking. Peace.